Welcome everyone, Sports Journey with myself, Lake Lewis, right here on the Sports Journey Broadcast Network. Happy Monday, June 24th to you out there. If you're checking this out via online, what's going on? If you're checking this out via your phones right now, make sure that you use that auxiliary port in your car or on your phone and do it safely. We want to make sure you get home. Remember, coming up a little bit later on, right here on the network, we're going to have Lou Musto. That's right, brand new show here on Sports Journey. Mr. Lou Musto comes on at 6 o'clock. He'll be on from 6 to 9 p.m. And then following Lou, who, by the way, is up in the New York market, following Lou will be Mr. Jeff Little in the locker room live from Los Angeles, California. So we're going right here on Sports Journey from the East Coast to the West Coast. We're going from the nation's capital to the biggest market in the world to the entertainment capital of the world in Los Angeles. So we've got a lot of stuff that we're covering here on Sports Journey. Lots of different things we're going to be talking about in today's program. But as always, as you see right there on that screen, in full HD, by the way, you can reach out to me via social media at Sports Journey. Very simple. Either Facebook or Twitter at Sports Journey. If you want to write me on my own personal Facebook or Twitter, it's Lake Lewis. That's right, folks. So we try to make it very simple for you. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what's going on. Let me know how your weekend went. Everyone says, oh, man, you know, what kind of weekend did you have? I had a great weekend. I had a phenomenal weekend, to say the least, folks. I actually spent some time, as I always say, as I go off my show, spend time with family and friends. I actually did that this weekend and had a great time. Went to a wine festival. Didn't drink any wine. That's really not my thing. But nevertheless, I went to a festival, had a great time, and hopefully, again, you had a great weekend. There were a lot of storylines that went on this weekend in the world of sports. A whole lot, to say the least. One of the storylines that really jumped out to me was Doc Rivers, leaving the Boston Celtics and joining the LA Clippers. And for me, I think it's a big move. I think it's a phenomenal move if I'm the Clippers. If I'm the Celtics, I'm a little upset about this because you're talking about one of the better coaches in the NBA. We're talking about a coach that has an NBA championship to his resume. And for my money, I think Doc Rivers is very underrated as a head coach. I think Doc Rivers is one of those guys that if you give him the pieces to coach, give him the pieces in place, he can do some great things. And I think that that's exactly what they're expecting to happen in Los Angeles with the Clippers. If Chris Paul re-ups, for max money for 5 years, then Doc Rivers has his point guard. He has his playmaker. He has his field general. He has an extension of him because, remember, Doc Rivers was a great point guard in his own right when he played with the Atlanta Hawks and the New York Knicks. We're talking about a guy that played with a lot of passion, a lot of desire. Was a really good on-ball defender. I remember that vividly. Could jump, could do a lot of different things. Was never really known for, dropping 30 on guys. He could score, don't get me wrong. Very underrated scorer at that. But he was a guy that was known to get in your grill. Get right in your face, go head to toe with you, and make it a dogfight. Now, Chris Paul, for my money, is, most people have Chris Paul as the best point guard in the NBA. I think that there are a couple guys that you can put in that category, but let's just save this for Chris Paul. You can make an argument that he is the best point guard in the NBA. You can make a clear argument that Chris Paul is the best point guard in the National Basketball Association. The question is, will Doc Rivers get more out of him? Because one thing that I've always said about Chris Paul that I've been a little down with is that I think he's so dominant skill set wise that I think he should do more at times. He's a very unselfish player, which is a great thing to have in a teammate. But sometimes I want my superstar to be selfish. And I think Chris Paul has to learn to be more selfish at times. Great facilitator. But sometimes when you understand that you're getting the ball in the hands of guys that may not be able to finish, may not be able to do some creative things, I think Chris Paul could score 20 on any night if he wanted to. I think if you look at Chris Paul's numbers, those numbers could inflate by 5 to 6 points a game if he wanted to shoot more. And I think Doc Rivers may tell him to do that because we're talking about, again, perhaps the greatest point guard in basketball right now. I want to see him take on more of a scoring role with the Los Angeles Clippers. I think if you look at Blake Griffin, the second best player on their team, a budding, superstar, as they say, I'm not sure if I see superstar type game. I see a tremendous athlete, a guy that will, break your arm off in the basket. You do not want to go up with him, or you'll be on someone's poster. You'll maybe be behind me as a fathead on the wall. But Blake Griffin's offensive game at this point in his career, 3 years, 4 years out of the NBA, out of college, it's still a work in progress. He's still limited as to some of the things that he can give you as a power forward. And he's going to grow into that role. Am I saying that this guy's no good? Absolutely not. I mean, he's got a tremendous, tremendous upside, and he's gotten better every year. He's added a couple things to his game. But for the most part, the Clippers right now as a bunch just weren't a team that could get into the playoffs and do some serious damage. I just didn't see that happen. I think that now, with Doc Rivers coming in there, am I saying it's an upgrade over Vinny Del Negro? Absolutely, yes. I'm definitely saying that's an upgrade. We're talking about a guy with a championship. We're talking about a guy that really made Boston the Celtics again. Because before Doc Rivers got there, they were a good team. They got in the playoffs a couple times. But as far as, really putting themselves back in that category of, beasts from the East, absolutely, Doc Rivers did that. When they brought in KG, when they brought in Ray Allen, those two guys, along with Paul Pierce, really, made the Celtics worth watching again. And then and I'm going to say this, now a lot of people aren't giving Doc Rivers credit for this, but Doc Rivers was the guy that found Rajon Rondo. I mean, when I say found him, he was the guy that decided, hey, I'm going to start a rookie with the big three, the original big three. I'm going to start a rookie with these guys, and they went on and won a championship. Rondo was a rookie that year. I think you have to really sit back and analyze that as this guy can coach. Make no mistake about it. So if I'm the Clippers, I'm happy about this. I think that they have an opportunity to take the next step. And whatever that next step is, does it mean you win a round in the playoffs? Does it mean that you get to the semifinals of the Western Conference Finals, or the NBA Finals for that matter? That remains to be seen. But I do think as of today, this team was better than they were Friday because they have a superior coach now that can go toe-to-toe with a lot of people out there. And you have to think of what he's going up against. I mean, you really have to sit back and understand that this team understands that if Russell Westbrook does not get hurt, Oklahoma City is a championship caliber team. San Antonio, as long as Greg Popovich is coaching there, they're going to be a championship caliber team. And by the way, they have a great point guard in Tony Parker, regardless of what happens to Ginobili or Duncan. So for my money, I think the Clippers have just really put themselves maybe in the top three in the West, just because of the coaching acquisition alone. Now, if they follow this up and bring in Kevin Garnett, that changes the dynamic of that team from a toughness standpoint. They're going to have to give up something to get him. And right now, the NBA is not sure if they're going to allow this thing to happen at all, because David Stern, as we heard last week, still feels as if Kevin Garnett were to end up in L.A. with the Clippers, they still feel that maybe that was some, backroom deal that was part of, if you bring in Doc Rivers as the head coach, KG will be soon to follow. And I don't know if the NBA will like that. They may nix that. I think from a standpoint of a fair trade, I think Boston's getting the better deal out of it if they were to trade him. Literally, think about it. If they were to trade Kevin Garnett at 36, 37 years old with a lot of miles, guy came straight out of high school, was playing at 18 years old. If they trade him for DeAndre Jordan, a high-rising big man with a lot of upside himself, I think Boston gets the better end of that deal at this point. Yeah, the Clippers may want Kevin Garnett because obviously he played for Doc Rivers, knows the system inside out. Doc Rivers understands that team lacks toughness, and you bring in a Kevin Garnett, now you have a trash talker, now you have a guy that will rebound, and more importantly, you have the consummate pro. Say what you want about Kevin Garnett, he's a great professional, and that may rub off on some of the young guys out in the Clippers. But if I'm Boston, and you get a chance to get a first-round draft pick for for Doc Rivers, which they did, you take that. If you can get a younger version of, I don't want to say KG, but just a younger athletic big, who's already proven they can play in this league and play effectively, you don't pass up that. If you're going to a rebuilding stage, you almost have to make these moves. And for everyone out there that thinks that Doc Rivers doesn't want to stay back and deal with the team that's going to not be that good, that's not the case. He said that he wasn't necessarily running away from the task at hand, and that's obviously going to be a rebuilding project in Boston. But at the same time, he said, and I appreciated his candidness and his honesty, he said he is not sure if he could just get juiced up and revved up, for that. He wants to coach for all the marbles, and we all know Boston's not going to be that type of team anymore for a couple of years unless they make some magical moves and, draft some different type of players. Boston's going to be a playoff caliber basketball team, but clearly not a championship caliber team. Clearly not a Eastern Conference division championship caliber team. I think that's clearly New York and Brooklyn. So lots of stuff there. Let us know your thoughts as always. Again, you can write us on social media at Sports Journey on Facebook, at Sports Journey on Twitter. My personal is Lake Lewis Jr. That's right. You have to make sure you put the JR after Lake Lewis on Facebook. And then for Twitter, it's very simple. It's Lake Lewis. I will take a quick break, and when we come back, more right here, Sports Journey with myself, you know who.
Are you stressed over credit cards and other debts? Maybe through no fault of your own? Imagine how it would feel to have that weight lifted right off your shoulders. Well, here's some good news from America's trusted name in debt relief. Care One providers have already helped over 4.5 million people in debt, and we can help you today. Just call this toll-free number to speak with a friendly representative, and in just minutes, you'll get your free debt relief analysis.
Regardless of your situation, Care One has an option for you.
We are there to help, and we do that in a way that's empathetic and supportive without judging their financial situation.
The credit card companies, I feel, are trying to keep you in debt and trying to keep it so you owe them money forever. And Care One is a good way to get you out of that and get you out of it fast.
A big burden was lifted off of my shoulders.
Care One threw me a lifeline.
Call Care One. They will help you.
Get debt relief from a company you can trust. Just call the toll-free number today.
Health Insurance Update. This just in for all uninsured Americans with or without pre-existing conditions. The recent health care bill will not take effect until at least 2014, leaving families and individuals lacking health insurance with no immediate solution to their concerns. Meanwhile, medical problems continue to be the #1 cause of bankruptcies. Here's the good news. A health insurance hotline has been established to provide affordable health insurance for all uninsured Americans, and yes, uninsured Americans with pre-existing conditions. Call the number on your screen now, and in less than 10 minutes, you could receive a choice of affordable plans from the Hotline Network. This is not a discount card. You will have access to doctors, hospitals, dental care, infant care, and emergency services. Call the Health Insurance Hotline now and get you and your family covered today.
Call 800-794-1817. That's 800-794-1817. Call now.
Hi, I'm Shannon Doherty. I've played the girl next door and the girl not so next door. I've produced, I've directed, but now I'm doing something I've always wanted to do for me. I'm on my way to getting my college degree. I logged on to Education Connection, the free service that showed me hundreds of schools and degrees so I could pick the right one. Now I'm actually getting my degree in liberal arts online. But you could get yours in business, in culinary arts, in nursing, in criminal justice, even a degree in technology. From my schedule, Education Connection showed me online has the most flexibility. I can study on the set, while traveling, anywhere, anytime. So do something smart for your future. Let Education Connection help you find the right program for free.
Log on now and get Education Connection's free success kit, stuffed with information about online degrees, schools, and scholarship advice. Log on now to 41educationmatching.com.
In 1990, in Severn, Maryland, The daughter of a clergyman was discovered by a music industry insider while pumping gas at a service station. The odds of her getting signed and spending 11 weeks at #1 on the U.S. singles charts? 1 in 19 million. The odds of this former church choir singer going on to sell 40 million records? 1 in 15 million. The odds of the same woman winning 6 Grammy Awards and starring in 2 Broadway plays? 1 in 75 million. The odds of this musician and performer having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference.
Guys, can you just give me a little space here? You just parked a little close. Guys, come on, guys. I got a meeting. Never mind. Just get it.
Stuck between a bad job and a hard place?
Ron, did you notice maybe you clipped me a little bit there?
CareerBuilder.com. Start building.
Ron!
And we're back to Sports Journey with Lake Lewis on the Sports Journey Broadcast Network.
All right, folks, coming back in with some Jay Dilla. Yeah, I love that. You know, just one of the greatest producers in hip-hop of all time. Obviously, life was, you know, cut short because of a sickness, but man, I just love coming back in with these kind of instrumentals here on Sports Journey. So welcome back, everyone. I'm back, and we're having a good time here on today's show. Was just talked about a little bit about Doc Rivers going to Los Angeles. You see it on the screen, and that's one of the new things that we're offering to you right here on Sports Journey, not just from my show, but as well as Lou Musto coming up right after me, and then directly after him, Mr. Jeff Little. You'll be able to see, you know, exactly what's going on in their thoughts, you know, as far as what they want to talk about on their show. So clearly you see the things that I have coming up for the rest of today's show. So anything right there pique your interest, make sure you write me. Make sure you let me know. Social media right there on the website. That's how you can do it. My personal, again, Lake Lewis on either one, Facebook or Twitter. All right, so what do we have going on here? Folks, get the free Droid DNA by HTC at your local Best Buy. With the 2-year activation on Verizon, you can get it for $199. You get a savings on that. I'm sorry, you get a savings of $199, or you can just get it for $99.99. The HTC One with a 2-year activation on Sprint and AT&T. All right, so good stuff going over there at Best Buy. Obviously, you can go to bestbuy.com, or you can go to sportsjourney/Best Buy, and you can see what they have going on over there. Also, at Best Buy, you can get a touchscreen laptop starting at $479. Also, you can save more with the PNY 16 gigabyte flash drive, $899 each after a $21 savings. Again, Best Buy. All right, folks, good stuff there. We're having a good time here on today's show, so hopefully you're right there with me. I know it's Monday. I know your mind's probably fried up a little bit, you know, getting back to the workflow. This show is to make you relax, make you be able to talk sports and not hear the the negativity that comes along with it. You know, that's not really my style. We try to talk factual stuff here, as they used to say, kick the actual factual here on Sports Journey. So NBA draft coming up on Thursday, and there are going to be a lot of young men that are going to be extremely happy when they wake up Friday. Let me tell you that, because you're talking about some guys now that are going to be able to buy mom and dad whatever they want to get. They're going to be able to buy themselves whatever they want to get. So again, you know, I think that this is that time of year. As a basketball fan, as a media person in the NBA myself, you know, I'm looking forward to this. I think there are a couple of kids that really can play the game, and I think they're very good. Not sure, not sold if there is a definite impact player. Obviously, every draft, there's one or two that comes out that maybe people weren't aware of, that maybe people, didn't know could do those, special things on the basketball court. Not saying that the top 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 guys this year aren't good players, because they are. I'm just not sure that any of them are going to be able to come right into the NBA and just absolutely make a huge impact. I think they have the skill set. I think they have the mental fortitude. I'm just not sure, circumstances-wise, are they going to be able to go to the teams that are drafting them and make instant impact. And when I say instant impact, I don't mean come in and score 20 points a game. I'm talking about make guys around them better, become a leader as a rookie. Because let's face it, the teams that are drafting high are teams that need some help. I think the team that right now jumps out to me as far as in this draft is at the 3 spot. And I'm not saying that because I sit here and I cover the Washington Wizards. I think that the Wizards are a team that, had they not had this draft pick, were ready to take a step forward for next year and become a playoff caliber basketball team in the Eastern Conference. They just got a little bit lucky as far as the draft lottery. They inherit the 3rd pick in the draft. And when you're a team that really feels like you are playoff ready and you get the number 3 pick, you can hit a home run here. The question is, who are the Wizards going to go after? The question is, what's the home run? Is the home run Otto Porter from one of my other schools, Georgetown University? I think Otto Porter's a great player. I think Otto Porter, Big East Player of the Year, proved throughout his career at Georgetown that, he was unheralded coming out of high school from Missouri. But I think he proved at Georgetown that he could do something different every year. He got better and better. Went from, kind of like a special role player his freshman year to a guy last year that carried the team, that led the Hoyas. And I don't want to use the word carried the team because, I think Markel Starks is a guy that's going to take the next step this year for Georgetown. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day when we break down college hoops. However, Otto Porter proved that he could shoot the ball, proved that he could step back beyond the arc, proved that, he still could, play some really solid defense, a great perimeter defender on top of that. And I think if you look at the Washington Wizards, the biggest gaping hole for them right now is, I think the 3 spot is open. I think Martell Webster, I would like for them to re-sign him. I think he came on and played really good basketball. He's a young player. He's tough, but he's streaky. And I think if the Wizards could solidify that spot where they have a consistent scoring threat from the outside, maybe a guy that can take you off the bounce and get to the basket, that's what they're looking for. The question is it Otto Porter or is it Anthony Bennett from UNLV? Me personally, and I'm sure I'm going to probably surprise some folks from saying this, having gone to school at Georgetown, as much as I love Otto Porter and I think he's going to be a dynamic pro, I think Anthony Bennett's the guy that you take if you're the Wizards, just from the dynamics of your team. Let me just say this first and foremost. Let me just get this out the way. They can't go wrong with whoever they take. When you're the 3rd pick in the draft, you're going to get a good player, regardless. I think if you were to get Otto Porter, they could be okay with that. I wouldn't be upset about it. I wouldn't think that the sky's falling in because that's who they got. However, I think if you look at Anthony Bennett and you look at his body type, not really a 4, maybe 6'7", 6'8" type player, not really a solid 4. Not really a surefire 3. He's a tweener between a 3 and a 4. He's a hybrid player. But what he is not, he's not a guy that can't score. He can score. And he can score effectively down low. He can bang. But more importantly, he can take you out behind the arc and shoot jumpers on you. The other thing that impresses me is we're talking about a guy with a 40-plus inch vertical. We're talking about super explosive for his size. And I think if I'm the Washington Wizards, I may like that rotation with him. I may like him at times, spelling a Nene. I think I may like him at times, becoming a little bit more physical version of Kevin Seraphin, who can score, but isn't necessarily, a guy that's your most rugged player. I think if you can get Anthony Bennett in here and he can give you a combo of both those guys, you have yourself a pretty special 3. A guy that can get up and down the floor as well. So, what are the Wizards going to do? We're going to find that out clearly on Thursday. I know here in town, locally, a lot of fans are saying you got to go Otto Porter because he's a local product. And like I said, you can't go wrong with that. I mean, the guy played his college ball, his collegiate ball in that stadium. So he's very familiar with the Verizon Center. He's used to being on the floor in there. So obviously he's going to know spots to shoot from and just the whole nine. But for my money, I think you have to go Anthony Bennett. And I think Anthony Bennett could be a dynamic player here for the Washington Wizards and give them something that maybe they haven't had in a long time. Your thoughts, as always, you can let me know. We did have an email that came through earlier, so let's get that.
You've got mail, baby, yeah.
We had Chris. All right, I appreciate it, Chris. Chris says that the Washington Wizards should go with Noel. You know what, hey, Chris, I got to tell you, I appreciate the email, but I'm not sure if he's going to be available. I don't know if Nerlens Noel will be there because I think that he's going to be the number one pick of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I understand some people were even saying that maybe Otto Porter will be that pick, but I do. I really think that if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, you have a dynamic point guard. You know, one of the best young point guards in the NBA is Kyrie Irving. If you haven't seen him, YouTube that guy, find a way to get some footage of him because he's absolutely dynamic. I tell you what you can do is when you see those commercials, those Uncle Drew commercials, the Nike commercials that are out with the old man at the court, that's Kyrie Irving. And I don't mean that, you know, figuratively. I'm saying literally that's Kyrie Irving dressed up as an old man. Literally. That is Kyrie Irving playing the character of Uncle Drew. But he's a great player. And I think that if you can pair him up with a big man, an athletic big man on top of that, and a guy that blocks shots at a rapid pace, I think that they could do some special things. I think that Cleveland could be a team that, you know, think about it in the Eastern Conference. It's top heavy. You know, you have Miami, of course, the defending champion next year. They'll be trying to three-peat. You have them. You have Indiana, a team that I think will be right there with Miami, neck and neck all year long. You're going to have Chicago with Derrick Rose back. He'll be better. You may have the Knicks, you know, still fresh off some success this year. I think Mike Woodson's done a phenomenal job in New York. You could have the Knicks back there. That's 4 teams right there. And then, of course, Brooklyn, Jason Kidd, new head coach there. I think Brooklyn's going to push the ball a little bit more, and you're going to see the Joe Johnsons and the Gerald Wallaces and even Darren Williams, for that matter, Brook Lopez. Now you're going to see an athletic team, not just a stagnant team that can't score after they get to 90 points in the fourth quarter. So you're looking at 5-6 teams right there that, you know, and I mentioned the Wizards. So you're looking at 5-6 teams right there that are going to be there, and who's going to be the 6th, 7th, 8th seeds. You know, Cleveland has a shot. Remember, though, if they were to draft Noel, he hurt his knee, you know, ACL, when he was at Kentucky this year, and it happened fairly early in the season. So there's a good chance that he'll be back by December, and that's his goal. So he'll miss the first 2 months of the season pretty much and be ready. You know, and you know how the NBA goes, folks. The NBA really doesn't matter until after Christmas anyway. So I'm sure that's going to be his goal, is to be out there maybe even for Christmas Day. Maybe the NBA tries to find a way to get him, if he's the number one pick for the Cavaliers, tries to find a way to get them on TV just to see if he can play for ratings. You know how that goes. So lots of different things that will be coming up. We'll see how all that stuff plays out. As always, folks, I keep pushing the social media. You know, a lot of people are telling me in the programming that they love our social media and they like the fact that we respond to them. So I'm just going to make it a point starting today to really hammer that home. So again, right there on the screen is our social media, Sports Journey at Facebook or Sports Journey, my personal, Lake Lewis on Twitter, Lake Lewis Jr. Make sure you put the JR after Facebook. So we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, more with myself, Lake Lewis. Hang tight.
Victor Cruz, wide receiver of the New York Giants, and I just came off the show at Sports Journey, had a great time with Lake, and definitely want to come back and do it again. Maybe I'll bring some friends next time, and I had a blast.
Out here at Sports Journey, having a great time, been on the show several times, giving me a chance to vent, tell people, and really connect with the fans how I feel about different situations going on throughout the year, especially with the NFL, and I love it. I haven't met a lot of people out here, and just going to continue to come back and continue to grow this relationship with me and Sports Journey and my boy Lake Lewis.
with Lake Lewis on Sports Journey. Had a good time tonight. Felt comfortable just being myself. It was a great interview, a great time, and I'd love to do it again.
What's up? This is Alex Joseph from the San Francisco 49ers, number 58. How y'all doing? It's Vladimir Dukas, offensive line for the New York Jets, number 62. So I'll let you know we had a great time tonight with Sports Journey, hanging out with Chris and Lake. Good time. Be back here next time. See y'all some other day. Can't wait.
Sports Journey, I love Sports Journey. Come on here and I have fun, be myself, and enjoy the questions and, just enjoy the atmosphere, having conversation and letting everybody else, nationwide or wherever it may be, hear the conversation that's going on. Let everybody know that, football players can do more than just play football. And it's just a great experience. It also helps me out, in a career I want to pursue in, broadcast network or whatever it may be. And I'm just enjoying the experience. It's a great opportunity, and I'm grateful that it's been given it to me.
It was fun being on the show, Blake. Glad we determined I was the best basketball player in the group. I won all those games, and it was fun talking about the off-season and training with the guys, and it was good to be on.
I got my own Sports Journey show on the Sports Journey Broadcast Network, and been doing it for a while now. I really enjoy it. Lake Lewis runs it very well. It keeps it very low-key. It's not going to be one of those uptight ones where you have to hear about all the drama. You actually get to know the player, and you get to have a little fun, you get to laugh, and talk about sports all the same. So it's a very good thing. It's something you should tune into time and time again and check out all the shows there, all the other places we have.
Is here to tell us how. Now, Dr. White, you say that this new FDA-approved laser is truly a medical breakthrough?
That's right. It's the most amazing device I've seen in over 27 years of practice. We're using the laser to treat all sorts of problems like spinal stenosis, herniated discs, degenerative disc disease, sciatic leg pain, and even arthritis. We're helping people eliminate their pain without the need for drugs or surgery.
And I understand that you have an incredible success rate. Is that right?
That's correct. Many patients feel significant pain relief after just one treatment.
And you have a fantastic offer today. The first 25 callers who really want to get rid of their pain get a free spinal exam and 2 laser treatments absolutely free. Dr. White, can you talk a little bit about how this laser works?
The laser penetrates deep into the body. It decreases inflammation, increases blood flow, and stimulates new healthy cell growth. The laser speeds up the healing process even in difficult cases that haven't responded to other treatments.
Now, I'm sure people will want to know, is the procedure painful?
Not at all. In fact, patients actually tell us it feels like a warm massage.
Well, there you have it, a truly unbelievable no-risk special. The first 25 callers will receive a spinal exam and 2 laser treatments absolutely free. So don't wait. Call 1-800-PAIN-FREE right now.
Call 800-PAIN-FREE.
Do you know what most people do when they realize they're struggling to pay their mortgage? Nothing. Surprising? Perhaps. But it's just too humiliating, too painful, too complicated, too scary. As the bills pile up and the pressure keeps growing, people just stop. But if people take action, if they reach out, make a call, they have a much better chance at a positive outcome. That is the simple message the Making Home Affordable program wanted to send. We created a new TV commercial that held a mirror to the problem. We showed people literally stopped, frozen, petrified, paralyzed by their own mortgage struggles. In our research, people told us, that's how I feel. Apparently, it's how a lot of people feel. Calls to the Hope Hotline went up 25% on the day of the launch and have held steady since at nearly 70,000 calls per month. Since 2010, the campaign has received over $33 million in donated media, including TV, radio, and outdoor and hard-hit housing markets, even signage in Times Square. This level of exposure, along with robust search engine marketing, frequent events, program announcements, and a revamped website, are making an impact. Website visits are at an all-time high, nearly 900,000 visits in January alone. But the most important statistic of all, over 900,000 people have received permanent loan modifications as a result of the program. And we have an opportunity to make an even bigger difference in the lives of struggling homeowners. The federal government has extended the application period for the Making Home Affordable program for another year. meaning even more people will get real help, real answers, right now.
Sports Journey. Sports Journey Network.
All right, folks, welcome back. Sports Journey with myself, Lake Lewis, and I'm standing now, folks. When you sit in the chair for 3 hours, it hurts sometimes. So, yeah, and as you can see, you know, and I say this because people have really been complimenting me on it. You see the weight loss, you see the beard. I'm working hard, folks, really trying to do the right things here so that I can stay with you for a long time. So that way you can, you know, have a show that you can make sure that you're tuning into for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. So I just thought I had to say that out there. So anyway, folks, so what do we have going on here? Gotta do some more plugging of some sponsors, some great folks out there. Hey, you can check out new products at fathead.com/new arrivals. Here's what's new this week for Major League Baseball. You have the David Ortiz teammate, Detroit Tigers mascot, Paul's teammate, Chicago White Sox classic logo, and the San Diego Padres camouflage logo. What do you have for NASCAR, for auto? You have the Ford Oval logo teammate. You have the Ford Mustang logo, and you have the Built Ford Tough logo. And then finally, for the collegiate sports out there, you have Notre Dame Stadium entrance mural, and you have the Iowa Hawkeyes Fat Dots. So there you go, folks. Some great things there from the good folks over at Fathead. You can go to, very simply, go to fathead.com, or you can go to sportsjourney.com/fathead and find out what's going on. And I'm going to give you a promo code to use that will help you get $20 off of all orders of $99 or more. It's 2099. So once again, if you go to the site, you can use promo code 2099, and then therefore you will be able to get $20 off of anything of $99 or more. What have we been talking about, folks? NBA. Broke down Doc Rivers going to Los Angeles. We talked about the NBA draft coming up on Thursday. And now, right now, we're going to switch gears a little bit, talk about Mr. Rafael Nadal. He's out of Wimbledon. Rafael Nadal bounced for the second year in a row. He gets knocked out. And I have to tell you, folks, for Rafael Nadal, listen, great tennis player, Hall of Famer. We're not going to argue that. But I've been saying this for a long time, that I think Rafael Nadal obviously plays his best tennis in France, his hometown, or his home country. He's no stranger to Roland Garros, and that's why he plays great on clay. He just recently won the French Open, and this was his first match back, and he loses to the 135th ranked player in the world, Steve Darcis of Belgium. To me, this goes to show you again, the young man is just an incredible player on clay. But when he gets on grass, that's just not his forte. He's won Wimbledon before, but he's traditionally not fared well there. It's just the way it is. Rafael Nadal says that's the sport, and sometimes you play well and have the chance to win, and sometimes you play worse and the opponents play well and you lose. I tried my best out there in every moment, and it was not possible for me this afternoon, and that's all. I think he's comfortable in his own skin. I think Rafael Nadal knows that that's not his strength. Wimbledon is just not his party. He knows this. And I think that when you see him lose and struggle the way he did, that's just what happens. Today it was 7-6, 7-4, 7-6, 10-8, and a tiebreaker, and then 6-4. He just does not play well. Last year, he lost in the second round to Lucas Rosol of the Czech Republic. And obviously, you know, we know about the knee injuries and things like that. I think he was out all of last year after that loss in Wimbledon because of the knee injury. So, you know, this is where tennis right now, I think, can recover a lot faster than other sports who are losing their great players, their superstars. And I'm not implying that Rafael Nadal's done, but he's getting older. We already know Roger Federer, you know, for my money, the greatest tennis player of all time. I'm saying it. I know I was a big McEnroe fan, but Roger Federer to me was that guy. You know, that was Michael Jordan on the tennis court. Well, he's getting older. And this is different from the female side of play. You see Serena Williams right now kicking everybody's tail, still, 30 plus, and she's still balling out there. Normally, when the men hit 34, 35 years old, you see a significant drop. You do. It just Father Time does not lose that battle. You see a significant drop. And right now, I think that Rafael Nadal, Father Time, starting to catch up to him. We're not talking about a guy that's, super old, but at the same time, at this point in his career, he's not the same player that he was. He's still playing great tennis, don't get me wrong. I think this was only the third loss of the year for Rafael Nadal. He's 43-2 on a 22-game winning streak before he entered Wimbledon. But obviously, a lot of that came at Roland Garros when he won the French Open. I still think that he's don't get me wrong, I still think he's one of the top three, players right there in men's tennis. I think it's Roger Federer and Djokovic. I think that they're great players, and I think Rafael Nadal's right there. However, you start to see a decline with some of these players, especially when they start to have knee injuries, and I think you have to understand that for Rafael Nadal, he was just a number 5 seed. That's not saying great things about him at this point. Yes, someone's probably going to write me and say, Lake, what are you talking about? He just won the French Open. I know that, but he always wins the French Open. That's his strength. He's the best player in the game, perhaps ever, on clay. Perhaps ever. You look at his numbers, you look at his track record, on clay, the guy is darn near invincible. But when you get him off that clay and you get him on another surface, that's not his strength. Tennis right now. On the flip side, obviously there was a lot of drama as far as Serena Williams apologizing to Maria Sharapova. And I don't want to say Sharapova is anything to Serena Williams. If anything, Serena Williams is Maria Sharapova's nemesis. She's pretty much owned her over their last 12, 13 matches. I mean, just owns her. And kind of took a little jab at her, kind of called her a little bit of drama-oriented, said that she starts every interview with, I'm so happy, I'm so lucky, blah, blah, blah. Speaking of her relationship, and supposedly that's Serena Williams' ex-boyfriend, so again, I sound like I'm on, Wendy Williams or some kind of gossip show, and that's not my style. But I will say this. She said she apologized, but sometimes apologies don't cut it, because why even say it? I understand that somebody may have asked her a question and she gave him an honest answer, but sometimes these athletes need to be smarter than that. They're being baited by us in the media, and that's not my style. I told you that. But some of these other media folks out there, they're looking for the next big story. They're looking for something to get their name in lights, because maybe their real work doesn't sit for itself, doesn't speak for itself, so they have to find something else to put their name in lights, as opposed to being credible and as opposed to earning the respect of the players and the people they're interviewing. That's just me taking subtle jabs across the board, and yeah, I am. So whoever's offended by it, that was supposed to hurt you. Because I just think that it makes a lot of us in the media look bad when you have these kind of things pop up. Frankly, it doesn't matter. I've said this before. If you play football, all I want to do is see you score. If you play basketball, all I want to do is see you score. If you play hockey, all I want to do is see you score. If you play baseball, all I want to do is see you hit home runs and score. Other than that, I could care less what your personal life is, because I would hate for someone to invade my personal life and have everything that I do, put out there in the public. I understand being a public figure, you run the risk of that, but at no time would I want someone to, follow people I love, around, school, work, blah, blah, blah. That's just not sitting well. So again, that whole story right there, I thought was just a little bush league, and I thought Serena handled it poorly. I really did. I think she tried to come back and do the right thing and apologize. If Maria Sharapova is accepting of that, that's going to be a whole nother story, which I don't think from the comments that she made she is. But at the end of the day, if you're Maria Sharapova, you're probably a little hurt by that, just because you can't beat Serena anyway. Serena's owned you literally like a used vehicle. So we'll see how that plays out as well. You know, I always say when I'm ready to move on, we'll see how that plays out. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we'll switch gears here a little bit, talk about, some college football. I saw a story on good friends of ours at USA Today. Had a story about an Alabama superfan. And wait till you hear, when I'm talking superfan, I don't mean people that just dress up, in the wardrobe and attire and ask for autographs. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a super fan, a person that really bleeds the colors of that team that they're supporting, the team that they're always around. And wait till you see and wait till you hear about this Alabama super fan when we come back right here. Sports Journey with myself, Lake Lewis. Hang tight.
Car owners, does your vehicle have less than 120,000 miles on it? Is it less than 10 years old? Is your current auto warranty about to expire? Well, Cover America Auto Care has a very special offer just for you. With current economic conditions causing bankruptcies and a downturn in new car sales, Cover America Auto Care now offers inexpensive mechanical breakdown coverage direct to the public. You can save thousands of dollars on auto repairs. A toll-free line has been made available so car owners can call and get a free no-obligation quote. This auto protection is backed by an A-rated insurance carrier. Plus, you get a claims department that has an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. 24-hour emergency roadside assistance is also included. You will be amazed at how much you can save on future car repair bills. So call for your free, no-obligation quote now. Do not wait. Get covered today and rest easy tonight.
This is not a workout. This is a revolution. This is Shake Weight for men, and it's going to kick your butt.
Whew, that's it.
In just 6 minutes. Guaranteed. Ordinary weights isolate one muscle in one direction, but Shake Weight harnesses the power of dynamic inertia to totally redefine strength training. As you shake, the weights at each end fire and recoil rapidly. This piston-like motion sends a shockwave of energy that forces your muscles to contract as many as 240 times a minute. So you build definition, size, and strength fast. And now this technological breakthrough in strength training can be yours for just $29.95. Shake Weight is science fact, not fiction. A leading biomechanics research center proved that 6 minutes with the Shake Weight burns as much muscle energy as 42 with a standard dumbbell. You get ripped, defined, and stronger, fast, guaranteed. Call and order now, and we'll also send you this 6-minute upper body workout DVD. It's everything you need to add size, definition, and strengthen your chest, triceps, biceps, and shoulders. Technology is all about packing mega performance in less space, right? Shake Weight proves it. That's why it comes with this ironclad kick butt guarantee. Do the Shake Weight workout just once. If your arms, chest, and shoulders aren't on fire in just 6 minutes, return it for a 100% refund. We'll even pay return shipping.
Whew, that's it.
3 exercises, 6 minutes, and the faster you shake, the more intense and challenging your workout. Think you can handle it? Then call now and build muscle and definition in just 6 minutes a day with Shake Weight for Men.
If you're disabled and unable to work, pay attention to the following message.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be entitled to disability benefits through Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right if you suffer from a physical or mental disability. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. You'll be matched up with an advocate who will evaluate your situation, handle your application, deal with Social Security for you, and handle all appeals. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. To get started, call the number on your screen now. And keep in mind, there are a vast number of conditions that make you eligible for disability benefits and dozens of additions that you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call the Citizens Disability Helpline today for a free, no-obligation consultation.
Call 1-800-735-0219. Call now. Hi, I'm Shannon Doherty. I've produced, I've directed, but now I'm doing something I have always wanted to do. I'm going to get my college degree. I logged on to Education Connection, the free service that showed me hundreds of schools and degrees. Now I'm getting my degree in liberal arts. But you could get yours in business, in nursing, even a degree in technology. Let Education Connection help you find the right program for free.
Log on now to 41educationmatching.com. That's 41educationmatching.com.
Now, back to the Sports Journey Radio Show with Lake Lewis.
All right, folks, as promised, we mentioned we were going to talk a little bit of college football here and talk about a story that I saw, like I said before, good folks over at USA Today who I've said for years, they do a phenomenal job of their sports coverage, the things that they break down, and they get a lot in depth. I understand we're moving to the age of online and, getting everything via online. Obviously, you can watch this program online as well, live.